The Gospel reading for the first Sunday after the Feast of Epiphany tells us the story of Nathanael the cynic. A cynic is a pessimist and sees only the negative in others. This Bible passage teaches us about the dangerous consequences of cynicism and also how to deal with it. And finally, it will give us hope of recovery from our own prejudices. Philip, who had previously met Jesus from Nazareth, shares his excitement with his friend and fellow Galilean Nathanael. Well, the cynic in Nathanael responds saying, "What good can come from Nazareth?" As we all experience in our day-to-day life, a cynic always has a dozen problems for every solution. Nathanael shared a common prejudice or bias about the people of Nazareth. Sounds familiar? It is not uncommon that people share prejudice about others based on religious affiliation, race, gender, nationality, even rights in the church and professions and so on. In reality, all of us suffer or have suffered from this condition that can be prevalent, as common as cold. Some prejudices can be innocent, while some can be serious to our personal growth as well as our social interaction. Unchecked prejudices can make us misfit in community. The Canadian philosopher theologian Bernard Lonergan, in his famous study of human subjectivity, has done an elaborate study of human prejudices and its deadly consequences. In his classic work, The Insight, Lonergan classifies 4 types of biases or prejudices that can block our human progress as individual and as community. The dramatic, individual, common, and general. The dramatic bias in the unconscious mind cannot be addressed without the help of deep religious experience, prayer, or therapeutic help. According to him, the common bias we share within our particular community can be really deadly. For example, the Pharisees, the priestly class, and the lawyers in the gospel were probably subject to such prejudice about Jesus, which led them to hate him with every gut. They ended up killing the innocent without feeling any personal guilt. Freud's selective memory and censor of the unconscious mind also are the product of this villain prejudice. Unchecked bias or prejudice can block our judgment and conclusions about religion, politics, and people. According to Lonergan, a multi-level conversion is the cure for human biases. Now, coming back to Nathanael the cynic, had he not met Philip and his intervention, he would have missed meeting with Jesus as well as his destiny as an apostle. Nathanael, we are told, is the apostle Bartholomew. We see prejudice blocking the Naaman the leper from the Old Testament from meeting Elisha, as it was a slave Israelite girl who persuaded him to meet the prophet, which led his healing. Also, St. Peter in the New Testament had a general bias against associating with Gentile Christians. And it was St. Paul who helped him out of that un-Catholic attitude. The early Christian community had strong prejudices and suspicion about the recent convert Saul, and it was Barnabas who helped to remedy that situation. In an age of widespread cynicism about religion and church, we need more Philips, Pauls, and Barnabas who can lead people to Jesus and to his church. We can only lead people to Jesus, and the process and the power of transformation from a cynic to an apostle belongs to the Lord Jesus alone. How did Jesus treat Nathanael? He did not focus on his negative side. Treating a prejudiced person with cynicism will not help him. Only unconditional acceptance can initiate any conversion and healing in people. We see this pattern of unconditional love and acceptance in Jesus all the time. He shows the same unconditional compassion and acceptance to the Samaritan woman at the well, the tax collector Matthew and Zacchaeus, and the sinful woman caught in adultery, and so on. Seeing and saying good things about people is not a matter of diplomacy, but the initial evangelism. The glass can be half empty or half full according to the attitude of the beholder. The cynic, the snob or critic in us make us see the half-empty glass always. Neuroscientists tell us that human mind can understand only the positive. We are hardwired towards the positive. Let us learn to bring forth the positive in people and thus help them to grow. Let us be bridge builders like Philip, who helped to make an ardent apostle out of cynic Nathanael. God bless you.